Right, are you ready to roll out your new section?
I am. There's a lot of excitement about this new section, Peter. Everyone's getting...
Look at me.
Absolutely excited. Do we play out Jose Young's abusive message that he sent in?
Of course. Okay. Jose Young's MMA fighting.
Kissing your arse as per usual and slating me. But what's new? Listen, as I said, this little pencil neck will have his day next time I see him. So here's a message from MMAfighting.com's Jose Youngs.
Love you, Jose.
What's up, guys? First time caller, long time listener, Jose Youngs here. Just want to give a shout out to Pete Carroll, probably the #1 Irish journalist in the MMA landscape. I'd probably put a close #2, Jose Youngs. Of course, he's representing Ireland over here in the United States.
Westmeath, baby.
Shout out to my homies in Westmeath. Probably Phil O'Connor, #3, and then I can't really think of many others after that. But anyway, Pete, I got a question for you. What's it like being co-host with the shortest man alive? Honestly, because it keeps me up at night. Like when PT talks.
Look in this camera.
Is it weird that he can't look at him in the eye? He has to look all the way down. Anyway, what's up, PT? What's up, Ned? Still waiting on that chicken farm. Shout out.
Chicken parm. What is a chicken? We don't eat chicken parm here. We drink Guinness. We do men things. Jesus.
Oh yeah, the chicken parm in New York ones. It was gorgeous.
What is a chicken parm?
Phil O'Connor was there as well, actually.
What is it, like a schnitzel with parmesan on chicken, or what is it?
Yeah, and some pasta.
God.
Yeah.
Sounds shite.
So inspired by The Sopranos.
What a knob that fella is, isn't he?
Thanks so much, Jose, for your question. Look, it's always the height difference has always been a big problem for me and Niall. You know what I mean? It's been one of our Achilles' heels over the years, but we get through it. We always do. So I'm glad you've asked the question. It's something we've tried to keep away from the listeners for a long time. But yeah, obviously a big issue, but we've overcome it. Thank you for the question. I love you loads, Jose.
I'm going to fuck that guy up when I see him. You're a dick. All right, okay. This is Sean from Drada's question. So nice one, Sean, for calling in. And if you want to get in contact with the show and send in your video or audio messages, and we're not accepting anything else, that's what you have to send. 088 +353 830 266 296. So there we go, PT. Let the people know where they can get involved. So this is Sean from Drada.
How's it going, lads? Sean from Blachowicz here. Just a quick question based on the Bellator rankings. Do you think that with the introduction of the new Bellator weight rankings that it'll give a better indication of how far the likes of James Gallagher and Liam McCourt are after title fights? Love the show.
Love you. Thanks, too, Sean. Nice one. Pizza, you hit up that one first if you want.
Yeah, I guess it's been quite controversial, the introduction of the Bellator rankings with media members, things like that. It's something the UFC have done for a long time. I personally feel like no matter where they're coming from, it is something that's needed with Bellator. We often have a different view of where people are in a division than the promotion, so this will give us an indication as to where they are, what kind of opponents they should be facing. Will it intercept their kind of... One thing they do so well is to, really grow talent and allow them to be, just take on, challenges that aren't the toughest, but allow them to grow. I wonder if that will be an obstacle in terms of if these guys are rushing up through the rankings, what do you do with them? But I do think it's a good thing. I think Bellator are making some serious moves in terms of the Showtime deal with the BBC. I think it looks all good for Bellator in 2021. I love the light heavyweight tournament. So I think it's, on the whole, it's a good thing, to be honest. What do you think, Noel?
Yeah, I do. I think, in terms of, and we've spoken to this with fighters in the past, such as, Chris Bungard, Peter Queally, I think agree with us as well. A number of the guys, that it creates a path for a fighter. Sometimes in Bellator, the problem is fighters have been lost in terms of where they are in the division, where they see themselves compared to actually where they are. And I think if you have a definitive ranking system, it creates a multitude of fighters, a multitude of narratives for fighters. It just creates a path for these guys to get to the top, a definitive path on paper. And also, You know, it's good for the branding and stuff like that as well, Pete. You know, a fighter can go out to a company if he's looking for something to get advertising or sponsorship off and go like, I'm number 2 ranked fighter in the world. It definitely opens up more doors, I think, for the fighters. And, you know, TV narrative for the audience as well is very, very important for people to get interested. It's a big, big thing. And I think, you know, kudos to Bellator for bringing this in. And I think it's a great thing. We'll definitely know, I think, within, you know, a year and a half, where people are going to definitively stand in the divisions. And it just sets up the divisions better. I think it's an all-round more interesting product with a ranking system about, in my opinion. Okay.
Thanks very much, Sean.
Let's get on to the next question. This is from, I hope I'm saying the name right here. Bloody hell, I'm terrible with these. Mikhail Zherkov, I think it is. One of our Russian listeners, PT. And this dude sent in a video. Shame on the rest of you. Absolute shame on the rest of you. A video message all the way from, I'm presuming.
Have a fantastic day. Bye.
Legend.
Here we go.
Thanks, Michael.
Oh, guys, how's it going? Got a question for you regarding Khabib Nurmagomedov recent interview. It was conducted in Russian, so probably you overlooked it. Nevertheless,
our Russian correspondent,
basically, he said that he has never considered Tony Ferguson as an elite opposition, as an elite fighter, and that's kind of a bizarre thing to hear. But you know, he pointed out at his age, 37 at age, it's a big figure, yeah. So it is. But Oleinik's performance as well, so he's getting old, so clearly that's a thing. But isn't it a strange thing to say from retirement artist's point of view, you know, sitting on a fence? So just a bit of disgraceful.
Interesting.
That just not showing a respect. I don't know. What do you think about it? And have you watched this interview? So have a fantastic day. Bye.
Same to you, Mikhail.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. All the way from Russia. Mikhail Zhernov. There we go. I think that's actually his name. Pete, it's an interesting one, I think. You know, completely dismissing Tony Ferguson, Khabib. You know, he how can he be one of the best fighters in the world when he's in his prime, is what Khabib was saying in that interview. He's not the first one to say that, in fairness. I've spoken with
a lot of top-rate lightweights have thought that about Tony Ferguson for a number of years, and I think that's a big part of his narrative, because people didn't consider him to be elite, but yet he became one of the best in the world. For me, I think Khabib is just trying to say, like, I'm not fighting that guy if I do come back. That's basically what I took from that. They've never been the best of friends. I don't ever expect to hear compliments coming from either guy about the other, so not too surprising, but I really appreciate the information, and I think Mikkel should be our Russian correspondent.
100%. I'd love that to happen, Pete. We need someone on the ground there over in Russia. Lots of things happening in Russian martial arts. But yeah, I totally agree. I think it's something now that's sort of, it's run its course. We tried to make it happen 5 times. It didn't happen. And like, if you look at Tony, we always say, you know, there's one fight that defines a fighter, and I think, you know, for Tony it might be a downward trajectory from here on. So I can understand why Khabib has said that. And listen, the fact, if he ever does come back and the fight has fallen out 5 times, I think we're pretty fed up of getting so excited and our hearts broken the whole time. And listen, it's just not the right time to do it with Tony's 2 losses as well, and Khabib being retired, so we'll never see it. But Mikhail, appreciate it, man. Nice one, all the way there in Russia. All right, Petey, let's get on with it. Look who this is. Paul bloody Fogarty. It's probably abuse to me. It has to be. It has to be. It has to be abuse.
Manager of
why is Paul Fogarty all that's great about Irish MMA? Also, can we get Noel to stop talking about football on Twitter? At least with MMA, he has PT to save him.
Jesus Christ. This is the guy that was calling this is the guy that was calling for Ollie Solskjaer's head a number of months ago. And then he's giving out me about my football tweets. Excuse me, Paul. My football tweets.
Paul's a football man, though.
And I'm not. So am I. I was a season ticket holder at Old Trafford for 7 fucking years, mate.
Listen, mate.
Been the World
That's
Cups.
just an indication of the size of your wallet, rather than.
Hang on. I'm a veteran of 3 Champions League finals, Mr. Fogarty.
Money.
So run along.
Money.
Watch your mouth. He must be the mouthiest fella in Irish MMA.
Oh,
Do you agree? I'd stop. Yeah.
look, I mean, you're just picking fights left, right, and center. Paul,
I'm
you know I
picking
love you.
fights.
Thanks so much for the beautiful compliment.
Dick.
Look, I think you are the best thing about Irish MMA, without a doubt. You've upset Niall. I hope you know that. I know that was what you wanted, and you've got what you've wanted, sir. And I knew he was going to leave him because I put up the Instagram story, and he wrote back to that. He was like, "I'm going to have so much fun with this," and it turns out he did.
Yeah, he was being all nice to me on Instagram last night, so I forgive him as well. Nice one, Paul. Even though you're a mouthpiece. Sean
mouthpiece.
Sean Denny, our good pal.
Oh,
listener.
Denny.
Denny Rasher, as I call him. Rasher. It's the best name for him. All right, Sean sent in a message here earlier on today.
Good evening, gents. Sean Denny here.
Good evening, Sean.
What does Jan Blachowicz have to do to shake the underdog status he always gets? He's currently 8-1 since moving back to WCA Warsaw. Just seems he doesn't get any respect whatsoever. Thank you.
It's a fair point, Pete. You know, a lot of people, and I think we've been probably guilty of doing it, writing off Jan Blachowicz in this title fight against Israel Adesanya. And I just think it's just Izzy's just so good. I don't think it's any reflection on Jan. I just think Izzy is a level above. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think it's a lot to do. The reason why he has been a perennial underdog is because of that stint he went on before. He didn't have it great. I mean, he lost 4 fights in the space of 5 fights at one stage. He's gone on a tremendous streak since then. But, I mean, I personally thought like he'd beat Corey Anderson, and he did. Reyes, you can understand why people held Reyes in such a big kind of light based on what he did against John Jones. But I feel like, Anderson was a bit above him in the rankings, and he's more well known to US people. So a lot of the rankings, the betting lines are based off what's happening in Vegas and stuff like that. So I feel like you can understand Anderson and Reyes being the underdog there, being the underdog against Rockhold. But Adesanya is one of the best fighters in the world at the moment, if not the best. And, it's just very tough that Jan is it's a huge fight, right? Like, this is a title on the line, light heavyweight title, and everyone's just kind of looking at it as a stepping stone towards John Jones. I think Jan actually benefits from this underdog thing. He's not the most talkative man. We had him on last time on the show. He was brilliant, by the way. He was a great interview. But he's not a guy who loves putting himself out there. And against someone like Israel, who's so famous, who's never been beaten in MMA, I think it's fair that he's the underdog in that situation, despite Izzy not fighting at 205. And to be honest, John, I think it's working for him. I think in the same way as we're talking about Tony Ferguson, people kind of were writing him off, and the fact that he kept on prevailing made him the guy he became. And I think that will be the same for Jan. And if he beats Israel Adesanya, holy shit, the world is open to the guy,
Yeah, I think it's a good bit to do with John Jones as well. Maybe he's not getting the credit, the eyes on him. I think it's hard for people sometimes to get interested when a champion relinquishes his title unbeaten in the way John Jones hasn't moved up to heavyweight. It's going to take a big win for the audiences, I think, to get really invested in Jan Blachowicz. And this is obviously the opportunity. And I think maybe that's why the hype hasn't been...
He's had some big wins.
Yeah, but I think that's maybe why the hype isn't where it probably would have been if he won... took a title off someone instead of fighting for a vacant title at the time. I just think it takes away a bit of the picture of it. And listen, this is a perfect chance for him to get that. But a bloody uphill task, PT. I know we're going to be talking about it in more detail, obviously, next week. But yeah, this is the moment if he ever wants to do it. But I can't see it happening. But yeah, I just think it's a lot to do with obviously winning a vacant title in that division. Nice one, Sean. Hope you're well, Rasher. That's a good one. Do you like
glad,
me? Sean Denny Rasher. It's a good one, isn't it?
If people don't know, Denny make rashers and sausages over here. We eat them on our fried breakfasts. So that's where the nickname is coming from for McGrath there. He didn't explain it. Terrible.
Yeah, I didn't. I'd love a good fry up, to be honest with you. All right, next one from Naev Curtis. I think he's in Australia.
Nice.
How are you, lads? It's Nave Curtis
Sorry, boss.
here in Melbourne.
Melbourne.
How are you getting on? I'm
I've been there.
big fan of the show, boys. Yous are doing a great job over there. I'm living in Melbourne. I listen to you religiously on
Thanks, man.
my drive home every week. I used to love the Aerial show, but
Who's he?
him in DC. But now,
Never heard of
yous
him.
are the main two men. Keep up the good work, lads. My question for you is, who do you think will be the next Irish, come out of Ireland, UFC champion?
No one.
Or will we even see one in our lifetime? What do you reckon, lads? Hit me up. Keep up the good work, lads. Love the show.
Thanks, man.
Nice one, boss.
Appreciate that all the way from Melbourne. Jesus, multinational all over the shop there, Pete. Jeez, that is a tough one, Peter. Next UFC champion from Ireland. Listen, maybe I'll hit this one first. I don't see someone at the moment that will be a UFC champion from our shores. And that's just being brutally honest at the moment. I think, we saw that first wave. Obviously, Conor was a cut above people, but it's, it's such a difficult thing to do as well, Pete. And, we've a lot of guys obviously competing in the sport here, but I just don't see it at the moment. It's a tough one. It really is a tough one.
I think if you were going to do the most likely out of the current crop, you'd say either Hughes or Gary. But the problem is, as Niall said, this isn't something that happens all the time, I think Conor being this anomaly, Conor was the best fighter in the world for 18 months as far as I'm concerned, and it was outrageous what he did.
So good.
We're never going to see anyone do what he did again. And I know a lot of people, disagree, and there's fighters probably cursing me at the moment saying they're going to do it, but it was always this magical moment in time that I knew while I was in it that we wouldn't see it again. And I look back on those days, and it annoys me to see how the likes of Carl Pendred wasn't embraced by the fans the way he should have been. He was 4-0 in the UFC. We are crying out for a fighter to be 4-0 in the UFC from Ireland now. Jesus Christ, would be so happy. And they just, because Conor was who he was, they were constantly comparing everyone to Conor. And that's the same thing when we're thinking about future UFC champions. I think, Gary and Hughes, I think are massively promising.
It's too early.
There's so many unanswered questions. They're so early in their careers. I know that's what both of those guys believe they will be. But from a point of view of as a media member, you have to get those big wins, big indications. You have to see how they react to being in the UFC. So they're a long way away from that. The first port of call is getting a Cage Warriors belt around your waist. So if either those guys do that, they're going to be, again, it's going to be okay, well, there's another big test they've passed. Then how do they get on the UFC? Sometimes it doesn't go your way. Look what happened with Rhys McKee.
Yeah, exactly.
Rhys McKee is an absolutely brilliant fighter. Everyone on this island would agree with me when I say that. It's just he didn't get two favorable matchups back to back. He had Chimaev and then Alex Morono. Two very difficult fights. First of all, the biggest prospect in the world, and second of all, a 10-fight UFC veteran. So it's a lot about how you play your cards too. So, I don't know if we'll ever see another UFC champion, to be honest. Yeah. But, let's hope I'm proved wrong.
I think we too much too soon in many ways as well. You don't often get a guy that comes in like Conor McGregor. And we knew it was special at the time, Pete. We've often talked about it. And, maybe the Irish fans at a certain stage were spoilt. As you said there in relation to Carl Pendred, we're crying out for guys in the UFC now. And
we were so lucky, man. We were flush.
We were so lucky.
We had Paddy, Ash, Neil, Redzer,
Joe,
Cahill. Yeah, Joe Duffy, Jesus. And of course, Conor McGregor. I don't know if you heard of that guy. He was really good. But, and then we had a whole backdraft of people waiting to get in as well, like Chris Fields, Philip Mulpeter. Reds was there for a long time. It was just an amazing time. And we just don't have the same same conveyor belt of talent as that. And as well as that, the scene here, we aren't seeing the same amount of events regionally as we used to.
It's a big issue.
I used to be at a fight card every weekend. But, as regulation has come into things, and obviously with COVID, we couldn't do it anyway, but as regulation has come into things, it's made it very difficult to have these events. And that scene is what produced this conveyor belt of talent from Ireland. It's not there anymore. We still haven't really figured out what we're going to do with that, I don't think. I know Clan Wars have a card up north that a lot of people are excited about. Cage Legacy, obviously, south of the border, but it just isn't the same environment it used to be, unfortunately. And I'd love to see it get back to that. But obviously, there's a lot more obstacles in the way. So it's a great question, but we're a very small country.
Again, but that's another thing. And when you're not getting funding off the state as well, that's another issue. Can the sport develop even further when there's no backing from the state? And in COVID times as well, it's going to be an issue that's going to be put in the back burner for the government and John Kavanagh and the guys who are at EMA and stuff like that. So that's another issue I think you have to take on board. But yeah, I do agree with you, Pete. I think it's too early for a few guys. We have to see how they develop. There's tons of potential in the country, but yeah, it's a long shot in my opinion. Nice one. Appreciate it.
Thanks
all the
very
way from
much,
Australia. Great question. Really good.
Get down to the casino tonight, mate. I stayed beside the casino when I was there. It was constantly luring me.
Did you have a flutter?
I can't remember. Maybe.
Can't remember. Jesus. Must have been a good... Oh, you were over for the Rousey scrap, wasn't it? Was the Rousey fight?
No, I was over for Adesanya and Whittaker.
Sorry, Izzy Whittaker. Yeah, that was a bloody good scrap. Nice one, Nev. And
nice one, bud.
Now we've Oscar Willis. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
From the
All the
Life.
stars are out tonight.
All right.
Life's Oscar Willis.
Here
Killing
we go.
it.
Oh, my mouse just broken. There we go. Here we go.
Hi, Pete. Hi, Neil.
Neil.
Obviously, the welterweight division seems to be stagnant again, with Kamaru and Jorge going back and forth, suggesting that the fight between them is now sort of on the rocks. If you're the UFC president, Dana White, what do you do to get this welterweight division moving again? You have Colby sitting out waiting for a title shot. You have Jorge sitting out waiting for a title shot. What do you do to get that division that seems to always stupper and sort of stop? How do you get it moving again?
Book the right fights. That's clearly
I know
what they haven't
what
done.
Oscar wants to say. Oscar, I know you want us to say strip Usman and give the title to Conor and then everything will be grand, but we can't go that way. I'm only messing. I don't know, and I'm actually really worried about it because it's actually a golden age for welterweight, right? Like they've all these amazing fighters, and I just really want to see them fight each other. Like I think Leon Edwards deserves one of these big fights. I thought it was really shameful last year when they put him in that situation where he had to accept the Hamzat fight. And with all the stuff that happened, it's just like, here we are and he's fighting Belal Muhammad. Fair play to Belal for stepping up.
Of course.
But it's just like, I want to see the best guys fight the best guys. And I think Leon's in that picture. I don't think Colby made the best decision in sitting that out. Because if Usman and Masvidal do this tough thing, I mean, he's going to be sidelined for the rest of the year probably, if that's the fight he's waiting for. So, yeah, it's very upsetting. It's annoying me. And I think it's annoying people more so than even when, like, McGregor went off and with the lightweight title, and people didn't know what was going on there, because at least we were still seeing the fights, right? At least they were still trying to make Nurmagomedov and Tony happen, even though it didn't. It just feels like the division is kind of being held up beyond the title. I'm not going to put any blame on Usman. He's just fought. He fought brilliantly. But the cluster outside of that, just finding the absolute number one contender, is really annoying me.
Yeah, I'd agree, Pete. I think there's been obviously outside influences as well. And, I don't understand the matchmaking. And I'm going to be piping on about this for bloody months to go between Masvidal getting the shot against Usman again after the first one being so definitive. I think it just totally messes up other fights that we could have seen and should rightly be seeing, in terms of Leon Edwards, a guy who's probably warranted his shot ahead of Gilbert Burns, but I believe there was other outside things to play in there. Ali's both Gilbert's and Kamaru's age, and I think that probably had something to do in terms of Ali's pulling power in the UFC, as we talked about earlier on. So yeah, it's just a lot of stuff on hold at the moment. We don't know what's going on with Colby Covington, as we spoke about earlier on. So yeah, it's just a bit of a mess. But I'm not sure how they fix this when they keep messing it up for themselves. I think they're happy enough to let one or two of the other guys sort of sit out and wait, because they feel as though they're not big enough names in the division. And I think they're clearly going after the money. But I'm not so sure there's going to be big bucks to be made in this fight, Pete. So there we go.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Oscar. That was great.
Appreciate it. Oscar doing a
From
great
me
job.
and Neil.
Neil. Oscar the Grouch, as I call him. Remember that fella? Do you remember
He's
that
a very
fella?
happy fella.
He can be a little vicious little git as well at times, Oscar.
I think you should fight him.
I want to fight him. Nah, I like Oscar. I like him better than that pencil neck. Jose Youngs.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Okay.
I love you, Jose, as well.
Here's one from Jake Smith. The Geordie boys.
Wee.
Newcastle. What was the score
Fucking
last
the
night?
time.
United 3.
Oh.
Newcastle United 0.
His impressive victory over Andrei Arlovsky this weekend.
Danny.
Do you think Tom Aspinall will be the next British UFC champion?
Oh,
British.
Yes. Peter.
The next UK. So more so than Leon, more so than Darren Till, you think Tom Aspinall is going to be the next UK champion?
No. He's going to... I
Had
believe...
to stop you there. Had to pull you back on that one.
Good man. No, I believe he'll... I definitely believe it's all there. I think it's a little bit too early for Tom Aspinall. But as we spoke about earlier on the show, you know, he has the attitude. He can talk on the mic. He's the skills to back it up. We know how good his boxing is, his stand-up. Really good on the deck, submission skills. He's the total package. I just think the UFC are going to be smart here and push him slowly. And I think if we're looking at a next champion, it's obviously likely to be Leon Edwards ahead of Tom Aspinall, in my opinion. I think Leon challenges everyone, creates a big headache for anybody in the welterweight division, including Kamaru Usman again. So in terms of next, no. But future definitely has the potential. He's the total package as far as I'm concerned. But I just want the UFC to go about this the right way. You know, he's 10 years in this game yet if he wants it. So future, yes. Next, no. Peter.
I'd agree with you. Like, we need to see him take on one of the more relevant up and coming heavyweights, someone like Gann or someone like Rosenstruck. But wouldn't it be just lovely to hear Jake's beautiful Geordie accent on the call? I love that, man. I could listen to him talking all day. And he has lovely hair too. Have you seen his hair lately?
I was talking about that last night, right? The accents in the UK. Right. Where does the Geordie accent derive from? Because it sounds like Jamaica. Do you ever get that? Like how you going to D, man? Like there's a bit of a Caribbean vibe off it. No, we're gonna win today. Fucking the Dane, man. Do you know what I mean? No, do you not get that? Fucking the Dane is all mine, all mine. Fucking the Dane is all mine. Newcastle, we're gonna win today, man.
Oh my god.
Okay, I better just stop. Should I?
Apologies for that, Jake. Sorry about that, man. Thanks very much for your question. I hope we on the next British. How did he say it? I like the way he said that.
The next British man. Okay, I'll just stop.
All right, Bob. Calm down there, buddy.
All right. Nice one, Jake. Appreciate it, man. This is the last one I think we'll do today, Pete, because we're running out a bit of time here. Connor. Connor from the States. Jesus.
Okay.
This has been all over the world today. Sent this in this morning. All right, Connor, we'll play this question.
Well, lads, long time listener of the show. Absolutely love it. Keep it up.
Thank you.
That man is Irish.
Saturday night's main event. Do you think
He's
it's
living
a
in the
bad
States.
look for
US
the UFC
number.
heavyweight division when Derrick Lewis has so much success? I mean, Curtis Blades, an elite level wrestler, and looked like the way more technical striker out there. And then just out of nowhere gets absolutely knocked the fuck out with a big uppercut. Obviously Derrick Lewis knows how to strike. He's a professional MMA fighter. You don't have that much success without being a good striker, but you wouldn't be able to tell it from watching him fight. He's off balance, swinging these massive loopy punches, and I just think to maybe a casual, it just looks like this big strong dude can just fucking knock out these elite level MMA fighters. Right, cheers.
That is the reality of the situation. That is literally what's happening, and I think it's great, this out of nowhere thing that Derrick Lewis brings to the table. Like, I don't like it when you're watching a 5-round fight and nothing is happening for 24 minutes of it. But I mean, you can't argue with that. It's a unique thing. Nobody else has got it going on the way he does. So I don't think it's a bad look. I think it's a good thing, to be honest. I think it's a good thing when you have personalities in the division that people gravitate towards. Like, I mean, the guy goes viral every time he fights, nearly every time he wins anyway, apart from the Ngannou fight that we won't talk about. But I think it's great to have big personalities with interesting narratives outside the title cluster. I think that's what helps a division to thrive. So I don't think it's a bad thing at all.
But I think there's more calculation there. As I said earlier on in the show, I think, you know, Lewis is assessing the situation there. Like, it's not a fluke that he does this 5 or 6 times. But he
doesn't look dangerous when he's assessing the situation, let's say.
Yeah, possibly.
He doesn't look dangerous until he does, I guess.
Yeah, you know? But it's a fascinating, narrative. It's a fascinating asset. But he's a lot smarter than people give him credit for. You know, it's no fluke. You know, the uppercut was the shot there that was potentially, you know, always going to win the fight if Blades is shooting in. And I saw he actually flashed a knee in the first round as well when Blades was coming in on. But you know, I don't really care what people think, because he gets the job done. Like, that's the special feeling around Derrick Lewis that I think people tune in for. And as Petey said, it's a bloody good thing. And fuck me, I tell you what, I wouldn't want that power. I wouldn't want that smoke. Do you know what I mean? So good fighters have to be careful when they're going in on them as well. So now listen, props to Derrick Lewis. Doesn't get enough credit in my opinion, Pete's. Lads, nice one for the questions. You can contact us and get involved with the show. Send in your video and audio messages on +353 830 266 296. It's there on the screen as well. So hit us up if you want to get in contact.
Hello, guys. If you want to hear more of The Bash, you can subscribe to us on all our wonderful channels on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and all that other shit.
And click the links below. Click the links below, the notification button. It comes straight to your phone if we've any fresh content. And also hit the subscribe button. It does help. You're some plonker.
It's very serious.